Okay, we're back on our storytelling, family history, and I started it on one video and we had some technical difficulties. So again, we are here in sunny Florida. It's just a couple days after Grandma's 87th birthday, February 6th, 2020. And her 87th birthday, had a little celebration. Now we're telling some family stories, and hopefully our first video will still be okay. And that was sort of your dating story. You were starting to tell your engagement story. So let's take that from the beginning. Mom, you had a ring of Dad's, and tell us what happened.
Well, he had the Sunday off, and we were up in Michigan, and I went into the lake up there, and
So what kind of ring was it that you had from Dad?
Class ring.
He had his class ring?
Yeah, and we were throwing sand at each other, and my ring flew off. And we looked and looked for it. We just couldn't find it.
Oh boy. Okay, so Dad, what did you do then?
Well, I had for maybe a couple of weeks had an engagement ring in my car box, and I was trying to look for the right moment to propose and give it to her. And so when we got back to her house that night, I said, well, you lost my class ring. I have a ring for you that would be your very own engagement ring. Would you marry me? And she said, yeah. And
So where were you? You were
in her drive in my car, and I thought it was a rather sneaky way to get an engagement ring. She had probably looked in that box.
Oh,
and knew
no.
it was
you say you didn't know anything. You were innocent of all charges, right, Mom?
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
So we were engaged for, well, we started to go together in June of '49. That might have been 50 probably, summer of 50. And then we got married in August 24th, 1952 in the church in Benton Ridge. No air conditioning, hot, hot, hot.
When we knelt down, sweat was dripping off his nose.
and
So August wedding in Northwest Ohio can be a little humid.
And you know, some people thought that was just natural heat, but suddenly it dawned on me, what am I doing? Not really.
Oh, you were getting the best deal of your life is what you were
The
doing.
best deal of my life, and it's been a great run. We're now in our 68th year. We hurried to Windsor, Ontario, where I had motel reservations, and since her brothers had jacked up my car so it wouldn't go, well, it took a little time till we got going, and it took a little more time to get there, so I called and was sure we could get there, and so we spent the night there, and headed to the Canadian National Exhibition in Toronto, Canada.
Wow.
And then to Niagara Falls, and then back to annual conference
Oh, just in time.
at St. Mary's.
I
And
don't know why he thought he had to be at annual conference.
Yeah.
But he did.
He had to be there. What else do you remember about it, Mom?
Oh, pretty much what he said. Go ahead.
If you had anything else, go ahead. Your turn.
Seemed like I did, but I've forgotten it. I remember it. I'll tell you.
Okay.
that annual conference was very eventful. I had served a little crossroads church in Bath Township near Lima for 2 years, paid $900 the first year. In the coin of the realm as it came in, I'd get a bag of money, $75 of
Quarters,
$5
nickels,
bills,
dimes.
quarters, nickels, dimes. And I did so well, they increased me to $1,000 the second year. And since Peg and I were going to get married, they were going to increase that to $1,300.
Wow.
And
That was big.
we rented an upstairs apartment in Bluffton with high ceilings. We spent the summer up there painting them again in the heat.
Mm-hmm.
And before annual conference, the superintendent had told some folks from a couple churches that had a disastrous experience with the guy who was appointed to them the year before. They could talk to me. Had a nice conversation. I said to the superintendent, be glad to go back to Blue Lake or to go to Benton Ridge Circuit, your call. Didn't know whether I was going to Blue Lake or Benton Ridge Circuit until the appointments were read on Sunday morning at conference, and I was going to Benton Ridge Circuit. And one dear lady at the Blue Lake Church looked me in the eye and said, I knew you were just in it for the money.
I get $900 a year.
Uh-huh, yeah, $900. Up to
It's
$1,300.
going to be all $1,300. And so I finished my senior year at Bluffton. She worked at the Meter Works. And then we went to seminary in Dayton, Ohio, United Seminary. Traveled back and forth, sometimes after Monday night basketball games.
Where he played.
Yeah, I played basketball. We had an outstanding church basketball team, one of the churches. And then we traveled under cover of night with two little kids the second year, David and Doug. Didn't have all the safety things. We had David on the back seat and Doug in the window, which was a big area.
Yeah.
And we'd travel by night, get to seminary about 2 in the morning, put him in bed, turn the light on, go to sleep, wake up and cover him up, turn off the light, and I'd get up and go to 7:30 classes the next morning, Tuesday morning. So we were back and forth Tuesday through Friday at Dayton.
So what year did you start seminary?
1953.
1953,
Finished
okay.
in 56. And
And you were serving Blue Lick at the same time?
no, I served Blue Lake before we were married.
Before you
I
went to
served
seminary, okay.
Benton Ridge Circuit,
Okay,
this place where they had a horrible experience.
right, okay.
Didn't pay a cent of apportionments. The superintendent said, if you can just get them to think kindly of the conference, you will have had a successful appointment. We, second Sunday there, I talked to them about, I said, let's take an offering. Some of you want to pay apportionments, some of you don't. We'll take a special offering once a week for apportionments. So those who want to give can give, those who don't have to. We ended up paying the apportionments in full, ended up having a great time. I was pastor to people who I'd been in high school with and their parents. Scripture came to mind, was a prophet is not without honor except in his own country. Had a great time. Our over 100-year-old house caught fire twice, once in the middle of the night.
Oh my gosh.
First thoughts that come to your mind, what do I do now? Jump out? What do I throw out the window, upstairs window? The upstairs had no heat until the landlord graciously put one radiator at the top of the stairs.
So where was this house?
Out in the open country.
Okay.
Peg didn't stay there after the first year.
Where were you, Mom? Where did you stay?
Well, I
After
guess
the
the
first
first year with my parents.
No.
No.
The
What?
first year
Alone?
you stayed there, but Nancy and Merrill
Oh, yeah.
and their baby stayed with us.
Yeah, that's right.
So tell us about that, Mom.
Nancy is a cousin of mine, and they didn't have any place to live, and so we invited them to move in with us, gave them a place to live, and it gave someone to be there with me while Paul was...
He was off doing the seminary thing.
Yeah,
huh?
right.
Okay, good.
David was born during that first year. The doctor thought he'd come early. I didn't have a phone in the seminary room. I studied in the seminary room. The far corner of the seminary we had a central phone. Whenever it rang, I ran down the hall to see if it was Peg.
Mm-hmm.
Came home. She had David, but it was a long, hard labor.
Yeah, it was.
And
But it was worth it, right, Mom?
Oh, yeah.
and then the last 2 years we traveled back and forth together, and that's when we had the kids in the car.
That was what you were telling us about
First
before.
year David, second year both of them. And we had a great time. As I said, the house caught on fire twice. The serious fire, Merrill had come down in the night to get diapers. He forgot to take them upstairs. Looked out, saw a red glow, and said the house is on fire.
Fortunately,
So-
he did.
Oh, yeah. Who saw it? Meryl?
Merle,
And who's Meryl?
And he and his wife, and they had a small baby, and they didn't have any place to live. And
So Nancy was your cousin,
yes,
and Meryl was her husband.
yes,
Okay.
And
Okay.
we got a big lard crock and threw water in on that fire
Mm-hmm.
to put it out.
Mm-hmm.
And firemen got there, and they said if that had gone on another 10 minutes, it would just have been a tinderbox.
Everything would have been
It
done.
was a
Yeah.
fire in an
Wow.
electric water heater,
Wow.
which is the wonder the electricity didn't come back through that water and zap us.
Oh, boy.
The next day we couldn't even lift that crop.
So you had some adrenaline going to help you fight the
We
fire.
really did.
All right, I'm going to stop here, and we'll pick up the story in a little bit.
okay.
Okay.